This is your conscience speaking. Go like and subscribe. Do it now. All right. And with that, we are on to the revitalized Houston Texans. Bringing in DeMeco Ryans, a head coach. New OC, Bobby Slowick, Shanahan tree guy. They're going to do a lot of play action, stemming off the wide zone runs. And one thing I really like about this team is their running back group. Like, Dameon Pierce was one of my favorite backs last year in the draft. He was a lot of people liked him, though. You know, that doesn't make me original. So he's just a good running back. He runs hard. But the addition of Devin Singletary is something that I really like for this offense because he just really complements Dameon Pierce well. Different running style, different kind of aspect. One's more power and like a bowling ball. The other's more finesse. But both have the potential to do explosive plays. And I love this UDFA they brought in. I'm looking for him to make some noise. Xavier Valade out of Arizona State. This dude is fun to watch, man. If you haven't seen any of his tape and you're a Texans fan, go out there and check it out. He's a fun watch. But I like what they brought in on the coaching aspect. I think DeMeco's going to really bring this culture full circle from what Lovey has done so far to kind of repair some of the damage that was there. And really, the defensive scheme should be, I mean, it's going to be different than what Lovey was running, but there are parallels that you can see between the two schemes that it shouldn't be a huge transition for some of these guys. And the O-line, they're a good pass protecting unit. Kenyon Green, there's some worries. I liked him in that draft. I was disappointed his play last year, as everyone was, but I think he's a talented player who, playing next to Tunsil, he should be able to get center help more often. Like, it's not like he needs to be helping Tunsil in pass protection all the time. So I feel like that should fix itself as long as Juice Scruggs can live up to his draft projection, which is he was drafted pretty early. I hate to say it, Texans fans. I had a 4th round grade on him. He went in the 2nd. I could be very well wrong. I like him. I'm not sure he's a surefire starter in this league, and where he was drafted says surefire starter.
But if you need a center and he's your guy, I mean, don't wait on him. I mean,
what wouldn't surprise me? So I actually like Scruggs' guard tape better than his center tape. And I know his mental aspect is a big reason why he got drafted where he was drafted. To be in this kind of wide zone run scheme, you need a really smart center. But they also drafted Jarrett Patterson out of Notre Dame. And Jarrett Patterson's a center-only guy. Like, he should not be playing guard in the NFL. He's just not big enough. But he's also a very smart guy. Yeah, I wonder if Scruggs is insurance for Green. He's going to be the starting center, but if Green bombs out, I wonder if they're going to kick Scruggs over and put Patterson in, because the Shanahan offenses have a history of loving Notre Dame centers too, Notre Dame linemen in general.
So outside of, let's get out of that Juice Scruggs pick real quick. Looking at this draft, they did the unthinkable. They took CJ Stroud at 2, and
they tricked everybody.
And then immediately came back and took Will Anderson at 3. I love CJ Stroud. And looking at this offense, I love bringing in Robert Woods. I love Maliek Collins there. I think John Mechie is a very, very underrated addition that they're getting out of last year's draft class that had lymphoma. That he had to beat cancer. He went and beat the shit out of cancer. He's gonna come back, and you turn on the Alabama tape with John Mechie, kid is incredible. And CJ Stroud is, in my opinion, the best quarterback in this draft, bar none. I loved his tape at Ohio State. He could run, he could pass. I think Dalton Schultz being there is going to help him out a lot. I mean, a healthy Dalton Schultz in that Dallas offense with Dak Prescott was very, very lethal. And then you already talked about Dameon Pierce. We both loved him last year. We both loved Singletary for the past 3 years in Buffalo. We just couldn't figure out why he wasn't getting the ball. But Laramie Tunsil, arguably one of the best tackles in the league. I love what I see here with this offense, and I mean, I think CJ Stroud can get it done. I think Damian Pierce can get it done. Dalton Schultz, huge addition, and then I mean, you look at their schedule and early bye week. So I mean, if you struggle early, I think that gives the opportunity for CJ Stroud to kind of, if he's struggling, to kind of get his footing going into Carolina, Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, Arizona, Jacksonville after the bye, and then on the defensive end, Will Anderson. I mean, I think this kid's going to be a stud. So you look at this team and you look at the win total of 6.5, and I mean, it's hard not to like the over here. I mean, we talked about the Colts, we talked about the Jaguars, and it's hard not to see this team being able to win more than 6 games. I mean, with what they got at quarterback, their running back depth, tight end, wide receiver, and then you look at their defensive backs and defensive lines. Like, lots to like about this team, and DeMeco Ryans is an absolute stud at head coach. So I think I'm going to lean the over here. I think I'm going to take that over 6.5 and plus 475 on the playoffs. It's very enticing at plus 475. I mean, you look at the team, they have the talent. So I'll take the over on wins. I'll take playoffs, and I'll even sprinkle that division at plus 700, 7-1 odds. And I mean, CJ Stroud's an absolute stud. I mean, I think they have the second best quarterback in this division, including Anthony Richardson. And I think they have more depth than Jacksonville. If Jacksonville runs into some issues with health, I think this Houston Texans team could be the one to take off with it. So at plus 700, if this is the prop I like the best out of all the props in this division, probably is the Texans to win the division at plus 700. I liked them last year. They couldn't get the quarterback help that I thought they would get. So I love them at the division plus 700.
I got some stuff to say on this roster. So I've already talked about the O-line and the running backs. CJ Stroud is a quarterback that I liked in this draft. I thought he was the best quarterback in this draft. I'm probably not quite as high as you are, Jay, on him, but that's probably because of our interpretation of what Jared Goff is differs so much. Because I think he's a lot of parallels to like Dak Prescott and Jared Goff, and that a very systematic player. A very skilled player, much faster than those guys. But I think with this wide receiver core, he really needs to show off his legs a lot more. Because I look at this receiver core, Robert Woods is 31 and hasn't gone over 600 yards since 2020. He's not a number one receiver. Maliek Collins, maybe he can be that with better QB play. That's the big question for me. Can he be your
John
number
Mechie
one?
was incredible in
not,
college.
Oh, I'm getting to Mechie. I like Mechie a lot. He's a slot receiver to me and a smaller guy too, which in this offense, blocking matters a lot. So I question whether he can be on the field all the time for them. They're going to find ways to get him the football without a doubt. But it's just whether he can be on the field all the time is my question there. And Maliek Collins, I'm really interested to see how he does with better quarterback play, because I really liked him coming out of Michigan. I think he's a really talented receiver who could do some stuff if he had that better QB play. Now, outside of that, this receiver core, I mean, Noah Brown, he showed some stuff for the Cowboys last year. There's some stuff to like as a deep threat, but Brown. Yeah, I don't want him to be more than my wide receiver 4, which is what he is right now. It's fine. I look at this receiver core. I see John Mechie and 2 wide receiver 2s or 3s. And I hope that Maliek Collins can become the one that I think he might be capable of. Now at tight end, I need Dalton Schultz to show that he can keep doing what he was doing in Dallas without CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup around him.
I'm not huge on
a lot of pressure.
I'm not huge on Dalton Schultz. I mean, I think he can block well and he can make catches in traffic. I mean,
he's going to be playing the George Kittle role, so the blocking is a big part of why he's there.
I don't think he's a game changer for them by any means, but I think he's good enough at everything to where he's going to improve this team. And then I love the running aspect of this team. And to me,
I love the
Robert
running
Woods,
backs.
yeah, to
I don't
me,
know about the
Robert
run
Woods,
blocking, but
to me, Robert Woods doesn't have to be the guy in this system. I I think if you're saying between 3 wide receivers and Dalton Schultz at tight end, if you get 300 catches out of the 4 of them divvied up, I think that's good. So, however you
yeah,
want to divvy that up, I think you're doing well, and I think Robert Woods can easily give you 65 to 80 catches for 400 to 700 yards and a couple of touchdowns. I think Maliek Collins could break out. I think John Mechie could break out, and I think Dalton Schultz is more than capable receiving tight end. And I think CJ Stroud is that good to elevate all these guys around him to where DeMeco Ryans is going to get this defense humming, and they're going to be dangerous. I don't know if they're actually going to compete. They could. This could be a team that you don't want to sleep on. Like, you don't want to sleep on the Texans because they're very, very close. I don't think they're there yet. This team could go anywhere between 12-5 and 5-12. Like, that's, but I could see them playing in a lot of close games, like the Lions these last couple of years. Now the Lions are division favorite. Like, I could see this being the team. Like, don't sleep on the Texans. Like, if they show up, let's say week 3 to Jacksonville, and they're going to Jacksonville, and you're getting the Texans plus 8.5, hammer the Texans. Hammer the Texans. Like,
I think on offense, a lot of this team's success is going to come down to how this O-line blocks the run up as a unit. They were very rough run blocking O-line last year. Like, the pass protection, Howard and Tunsil are about as good of as a duo as you get in pass pro. But the run blocking, I mean, the scheme is going to fit more what their blockers are capable of doing, be more athletic and getting in space. And Shaq Mason's going to help their run blocking. But I need to see them prove it on the field that they're able to generate that type of push in the run game, like a Shanahan offense. Like, think about the 49ers. It all comes down to that run game working like a well-oiled machine. So I think it's going to come down to a lot of that because the receivers aren't there to bail out CJ Stroud. And that's not a knock on CJ Stroud. That's just being a rookie quarterback. You need
there are receivers out there to go get, though.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they'll go get one. But looking at the defense, so I love this D line for what DeMeco Ryans is going to do. He's going to run a lot of stunts, a lot of loops, pair up like Maliek Collins and Will Anderson on one side and Jerry Hughes and Sheldon Rankins on the other. You got a lot of athleticism there to start playing games against the O-line. If Will Anderson is who we all think he is, this D-line can get real nasty real fast. Maliek Collins is one of the most underrated 3 techs in the NFL. I love watching him play.
And then I like Jalen Petrie a lot. I mean, I know that his PFF grade's not the best, but I mean, I thought he showed flashes last year.
That's actually not his PFF grade. That's a stat that I put together. His PFF grade, let me see. I got it in my notes here. So it's not great. He was like a 65 in coverage and a 38 against the run. So in my metric here, I call it like positive play rate. It's just like positive plays, like passes deflected, forcing completions, interceptions, tackles for loss, and then taking out like bad plays like missed tackles or touchdowns given up, stuff like that. Petrie was really up and down last year, but he got better and better as the season went on, and he followed the trajectory you're looking for.
Yeah, I liked his flashes a lot, so I mean, I think he's good. Derek Stingley, like, it would be really cool to have Sauce Gardner here. Like,
I mean,
Stingley's not bad.
Stingley's a guy who showed some flashes last year too, but it was just like his good was good, not great, and his bad was real. Like, he just looked lackadaisical out there. Like some of the stuff that you saw said in pre-draft about him, and like his detail, the attention to detail that he has on the field, or like not even that. It was like his attention in general. It was like he get bored was one of the big knocks on him. And there were just moments last year where he looked lackadaisical on the field, and it was kind of like,
but you could have had Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, I mean,
and
Stingley still he has all the skills to be everything that you want him to be.
But so, I had a 4-unit bet that Sauce Gardner would be the first cornerback off the or first
I had that bet
corner
too.
off first corner off the board. So I'll never forgive the Texans for that. So
now
I'll never wish against anybody's success, but I don't even have to wish against Stingley's success. Sauce Gardner is so good that even if Stingley is like a 4-time Pro Bowler and like makes an All Pro, like he'll never be as good as Sauce Gardner. So I can always be like, yeah, that was a stupid pick.
So, yeah. I got one more thing to say on this secondary. So, like, this safety duo is disgusting with versatility. Jimmy Ward and Jalen Petrie. They can both play in the box. They can both play deep. They can both play nickel. And then Steven Nelson is a solid cornerback. In the slot, they have Tavier Thomas and Desmond King, who can both start in the slot there. They can start doing some really... Tavier Thomas is a big athlete. Like, he can do some fun stuff in coverage. And Desmond King, we know, can cover in the slot too. Like, if Derek Stingley can become even close to what we thought he could be, this secondary is filthy with versatility. Like, you can just really mess with quarterbacks with these guys that you have. And what's the coach? DeMeco is he's gonna have some fun with that. Like, it's gonna be some cool coverages to watch.
Quick update: I bet on the Golden Knights parlayed with the over, and tonight's closeout game, Game 5, and the Golden Knights are currently winning 6-1 halfway through the third. So, good job by me.
Yeah. Now, I will say their depth at safety is a little concerning. MJ Stewart's okay there, but behind that, they really got nothing. But a lot of teams aren't that deep at safety. It's just kind of the next guy up kind of mentality.
So, I kind of talked about it a little bit when you stepped away, but looking at the betting odds for this team, my favorite bet is winning the division at plus 700.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So if you were to take a bet, which one do you like best?
I'm taking division plus 700. Same logic as the Colts. I think that these teams are 2 and 3 to me. I'm not sure which one is 2 and which is 3. If something goes wrong in Jacksonville, one of these two teams is winning the division. So, I mean, it's as simple as that. I just think there's good value. I'll throw 1 unit on each, and like I'll have a hedge somewhere, and I'll make money no matter what, just because I'm not betting the Titans.
And if the Jaguars struggle out of the gate, you can probably get them to win the division like a couple weeks into the season at plus 500. So
you can arbitrage that thing. Oh yeah,
absolutely. So
not a single Monday Night Football or Thursday Night Football or Europe game for this team. Only team
I can
in the
see this
division
team
not
getting
going to
flexed
Europe.
In. That's good for them. I mean, I think this team's going to be a lot more fun, a lot more exciting than people expect. I mean, we loved Dameon Pierce last year. He looked good. I think CJ Stroud's going to be absolutely electric. I mean, I think he's going to be talked about as a top 15, top 10 quarterback by the end of the season. I think he's going to immediately get high praise. Will Anderson could be one of the best edge rushers, and that was their picks at 2 and 3. I think they knocked that absolutely out of the park. Derek Stingley on a rise, Jalen Petrie on a rise, getting John Mechie back. Maybe they go grab a Stephon Diggs if things don't work out in Buffalo, or maybe they bring DeAndre Hopkins home. Like, there's ways to improve this team still that are in situations that are unresolved, to where they can definitely get better before the season starts. So
you put D-Hop on this roster, I get a lot more interested. Like, my number one note on my sheets here is that the wide receiver talent number one wide receiver talent has been so key to young quarterback success in recent years. And I'm just not sure this group of weapons helps Stroud. If you get him another weapon, this gets interesting.
You look at the Texans' history, they've always had a number one wide receiver, never really had a quarterback. Now they finally, hopefully, have a quarterback. Let's go get a number one wide receiver. Bring D-Hop back. Stephon Diggs. I mean, Stephon Diggs, there's people in Buffalo that seem very, very, very worried right now. and all the players and all of like the people close to the situation are saying all the right things. But you go get Stephon Diggs, or you bring in DeAndre Hopkins, or maybe there's somebody else that we don't really know about. Like
Our boy Chris Raines agrees. CJ Stroud, best QB in the draft.
Hey, Chris Raines, the Rain Man. I mean, I appreciate that 3-1 that I cashed last night on the Nuggets.
Yeah, that was real nice. Our man Chris Raines.
Took that
I hope
in the
y'all
second
listened
round.
back in early May, when he told us about the Nuggets.
I got Nuggets or it was 2.4 to 1, but still, nice little cash last night. So
yeah, but back to the Texans. Yeah, I'm taking win division plus 700 just for the value. Like I just think them and Colts are the best value here, and I'm probably leaning Texans over Colts on that.
like I said, I'm leaning Texas over Colts as well.